Hi, everyone. Are you hiring the right people for your organization? So if you are an entrepreneur, a practice owner, and maybe you're a manager and actually you need to actually be hiring some more people for your team. The whole question that I'm often asked when I'm speaking at conferences around, Karyn, how do we hire the best fit? How do we actually hire the best fit? And so I'm going to be kind of unpacking that for you actually today. So if we haven't met, my name is Dr. Karyn. I am a leadership and relationship expert. We work with organizations globally. I'm the co-founder of a global leadership coaching company. And so I'm on the ground. I work with lots of different types of different organizations in different sectors. And it's really fascinating to me around, especially when we're building businesses, we're building teams, we've got to make sure that we have the right fit. And if we don't have the right fit, it's going to cause a lot of pain, a lot of stress, a lot of wasted time, it's going to cost us in terms of productivity and obviously even replacing a person. So we want to make sure we get this right. So I'm going to give you a wonderful framework that we've taught to many organizations around make sure you are hiring the right people. So this is just before we actually start this is assuming that the person, let's say you've kind of got this role. I'm going to be giving you 5 things to kind of look out for, but there are, assuming that the person actually has the right role, you've got the role kind of identified. They've got the right technical skill for the role because they have to make sure that they have the technical skill, whatever that skill is. And that this is also assuming that the person is a good fit with your culture. Okay, so those are 2 kind of things I want to make sure are kind of in place before I actually teach you the 5 things that I want you to really look at. Okay, so again, making sure they have the right technical skill, making sure that they are the right fit with your culture. Think about your organizational culture. Are they actually a good fit? And usually people have like about 4 or 5 different kind of variables that they're actually looking for. And assuming yes and yes, now let's kind of get to the third part, which are these 5 core skills. So 5 things I want you to look for if you are hiring. And you know what? I'm going to even say that, again, we're going to focus a little bit more on the business side, but for a lot of parents, one of the things we love to do as a leadership company is teach leadership tools you can apply both to organizations and families. And so you might be a parent that needs to hire a great babysitter, or you need to hire a great tutor for your kids. You have to hire somebody for your family. This is going to actually apply as well. Okay. So 5 things, everybody. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe so you are notified when more videos actually come out. So here we go. 5 things. And I'm going to give you a wonderful freebie to kind of to give you as a download. Okay, the first thing, and it's actually essentially with what we're going to be doing, is we're going to make sure that they have EQ. So we want to make sure that they have the IQ, the technical skills, but we also want to make sure they have EQ, or emotional intelligence skills. So you might be like, okay, well, what exactly is it? Well, it's 5 core skills, and I've taught this on other videos, but this is really important when we're talking about hiring, making sure we're making a good hire. So it's 5 core skills, and it spells the acronym CARDS. And this is an acronym that we have actually created. If you want to kind of do a bit more of a deep dive, it's all in my book, The 3 Chairs. If you haven't got that, you can grab it off of Amazon. Okay, so here we go, everybody. 5 core skills, and you want to make sure that they have these when you're making a good hire. The first one is communication skills, and being able to making sure, like when you're hiring somebody, whether or not, let's say you're hiring a tutor for your kids, or you're hiring a new team member for your organization, can they communicate well? This seems so obvious, okay? This seems so obvious. You're like, Karyn, why are we even having to talk about this? Because the reality is, if people cannot communicate clearly, concisely, it is going to be very frustrating for you. I can think of times in our business, okay, in our own business, when we are hiring, I'm partners with my husband. We're co-founders together. And I remember a few years back, we were actually hiring for a particular role. And this person was very qualified. They had a very impressive CV. But let me tell you, when we actually did the interview, my husband and I together, the person could not communicate clearly. They couldn't, they rambled, they went on, they kind of circled around the issue. When I asked, clarifying questions, they just kind of said the same thing and repeated it. And I thought, and this was going to be a fairly critical role within an organization. And I said to my husband afterwards, If I cannot have as somebody who can clearly communicate with me, they are not going to be the right fit. And so this is really important. You can have a very impressive resume if they cannot. So that's IQ, okay? IQ, technical. They've got like that technical skill, totally separate with the one I'm talking about. They need to be able to communicate clearly, concisely. They need to be able to simplify information to other people so that other people can actually understand with what on earth they're talking about. And so that's the first thing. The other thing that I'd also kind of add to that kind of like first category is do they also take responsibility and take ownership or accountability? Are they quick to take ownership? That is like a really, really important thing when you're working in a team and you want to hire somebody. If they're late, do they apologize or do they blame the traffic? Okay. And think about this, both whether or not you're hiring in the organization or actually for your family. So somebody who can communicate clearly, somebody who can apologize fast, somebody also who is really great in terms of problem solving. There's going to be issues, whatever team we actually have, we are going to have problems. So a great healthy team is not without problems. A great healthy team leans into problems and problem solves fast. So that is a huge one that that's all kind of under that attitude. The second one is actually attitude and goal setting. And when you're actually hiring somebody, you want to kind of really find out, are they arrogant? Are they confident? Are they insecure? Ideally, you want somebody who's actually confident. And are they really strong about setting goals? So like, let's say you're actually hiring somebody within your team. Are they really good about and strong about actually setting goals for themselves? They know how to set a target. They know how to work towards that target. That's really important. When you've got somebody in your team that they actually know how to set goals for themselves. They're not always waiting for somebody else actually to set it for them. Same thing in terms of the family side. If you're actually hiring somebody for your family, do they know in terms of like setting certain goals that they actually, whatever that role is that you actually are hiring. So the goal setting and the mindset is actually really important. The third one is your relationship skills. And this is a person, somebody, again, who makes a really great hire is somebody who actually can put themselves in the shoes of somebody else. This is where empathy comes in, cultural differences, racial differences, personality differences actually come in. It's the ability really to see things from a different lens and really have that empathy kind of for other people. That's a very, very strong hire. And so you want to kind of be paying attention to their relationship skills, their empathy skills. This is, to be honest, huge for getting references. So when we've done hires over the years, both in our business as well as our family, to me, I love looking at the resume. I love having the interview, but what I really love is going on the phone and talking to references, because in those references, you will learn all kinds of things according to these 5 things. You will learn all kinds of things about their relationship skills, their reliability, their ability to take ownership, their ability to be able to goal set, to achieve goals, to stay on task, to prioritize. You'll learn a lot of information from references that you will not get from that interview with that person or actually on a resume. So references, by the way, are a really good way to do it. And you might be thinking, okay, Karyn, do you have like a 1-pager that kind of outlines that? Yes. So in the chat function below, say great hire. Type that below and somebody from my team will actually send you our 1-pager. And what you will receive is a 1-page of these different 5 skills. And this can be a little bit of your blueprint, your roadmap. When you're actually interviewing people, you kind of know with what the question, you'll have the different categories of things that I actually recommend that you actually are looking for. And so it's a 1-pager that actually has all of these things in it. Okay, so smart hire. Okay, smart hire. Type it in and somebody will send it to you. Okay. 4th one, D, so communication, attitude and goal setting, relationship skills. 4th one is your decision making and your time management. Okay, so this is really big. Okay, really, really big. I'm typing this out as I'm right just to kind of keep myself on track. When I think of our best hires, okay, our best hires are people who have all 5 of these skills. And obviously the first 3 are really important. This 4th one is super important to me because we run a business. We're juggling many different things. time is something we do not have a lot of. And so reliability is huge for us. And this is really a deal breaker. If people are not reliable, we are not going to be the right organization for them. We need reliability. This is a very, very important piece. And so their decision making and time management. So when you ask a person to come for the interview at 1 o'clock, are they there at 1:05 or are they there at 12:50? Okay. Same thing if you're hiring for a babysitter, or you're hiring for somebody. Are they reliable? And maybe that's not as big of a value for you. For us, it's a really high value. So we have twin boys. If you follow me on social media, I talk about them on Instagram and some of the other social media platforms. And one of the videos I shared is one of them actually was applying for a part-time job, and I was actually a full-time job over the summer. And I said to him, this is one of the most frustrating things that a lot of managers talk about with the next generation is that people are showing up late. They're not showing up on time. They're showing up late. And I told him, I said, to help yourself stand out, to make sure that you are going to be a great star performer in this job, very simple. Show up 15 minutes early. And I am telling you, you will light up with your managers, but you will become very well respected by showing up early, making sure you show up early. You are willing to work past the time. Show that you are super reliable, that you are super respectful, and you're going to get the best hours, the best shifts. You're going to get a great resume. And that is exactly what happened. My son, they had two different jobs. The one son that I really emphasize this to, he was the youngest in his job by 3 years, actually. Everybody else was in college or university. He was the only high school student, and he got phenomenal hours because he showed up early and he was willing to work after the hours that was actually expected. He got a wonderful, wonderful reference. He got a bit of an award for part of his job. And it was all based on this fourth category, everybody. Okay, so this is something, if you're a parent, I'm telling you, you want to make sure you're teaching this to your children as well. Okay, so when you're hiring, that's something that you really look at. Does the person know how to manage their time? Do they know how to prioritize? Do they know how to prioritize the task? Let go of things that are not the priority, really be able to kind of put their eyes focused on the things that have to get done, and are they really good in terms of actually getting it done? So those are all very, very specific kind of skills, again, that you want to be looking at when hiring. The last one, everybody, is the stress. And again, if you have not, make sure you get our make sure below write SMART hire. So you've kind of got your one pager to kind of walk you through this. The last one, everybody, is their stress management. And this is really important because let's say you hire somebody they have a great resume. They've got a great resume, and let's say they have 4 of these 5. They're great, good communicators. They've got goals. They have empathy. They kind of get things done. And then all of a sudden, when stress hits, they fall apart, or they lash out at other people, or they lash out at customers, or all of a sudden their emotions kind of overcome them, and they're not able to, they're just not able to do their job. So this 5th one is really, really important. They're all important, but they're all interconnected. So you want to make sure that somebody that you're hiring really knows how to manage their energy and emotion management. They know how to keep their stress low. And by the way, stress and time management are very connected. So that 4th and 5th one are very, very interconnected. So they really know how to manage their stress really well. They also know in terms of they keep their anxiety really low. So they tend to focus on what they can control, except what they can't. They really manage their energy, emotional energy management. So they do a great job in terms of setting boundaries, self-care. This is another thing that I taught my son. My husband and I taught our son. The one worked at a camp, the other one worked at a golf course for the summer. And so the one that I'm talking about is the one that worked at the golf course. And we really emphasized, listen, you have to get up at 5 o'clock. You've really got to manage your emotions and set those boundaries and manage your time so that when you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning, you've got energy so that when you're starting your shift at 5:30 in the morning, you're not just kind of like dragging your heels, you're able to kind of really perform at a really good level. And so all of those little sub skills make a big difference for getting a great hire. And so these are, again, skills you can teach your children. You can actually teach yourself and also your team. So that's the last one, everybody, is a great hire. You want someone who really knows how to manage their energy management, emotion management, self-care. What do you do for self-care? What do you do for boundaries? How do you learn how to say no? How do you manage your stress? How do you manage your anxiety? All of those. And all of a sudden, you know that the person has really kind of mastered what's called emotional intelligence, but they've really mastered self-leadership. And so again, when we're looking at making a great hire in organizations or actually in the families, that's what we want. We want the technical skill. Can they do the technical part of the job? But it's this EQ. It's when we get this EQ, these leadership, self-leadership skills, these 5 skills. Wow. When you get that hire, you've got the IQ and the EQ. I'm telling you, this is a very powerful hire. We've actually had tremendous success hiring as a business. As a business, we've had tremendous success. Our retention is very, very high. But also on the family side, we've made really, really great hires. And the few mishires that we've had over the years is because I rushed this process. Don't rush the process, everybody. Hiring well is such an important skill for organizations and families. So we want to really make sure we take our time, look for those technical skills, and then really look in terms of those leaderships, emotional intelligence skills that I talked about. Like I said, you can type below smart hire. Somebody will send you our one pager. And like I said, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that so you get notified. If there's a topic you would like me to talk about, make sure you let us know as well. You can just put that in the chat function below. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you at one of our next videos.